And we're live.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here and joining. We will go ahead and get started with today's meeting for the Human Rights Commission. Let's go ahead and do an introduction for those of us that are here. So we'll start it off. I am Hamadi Jackson. I am the chair. Don't really have any preferred pronouns. So with that, I will pass it over to Lisa.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lisa Novak. I'm from Ward 3. My pronouns are she, hers, and happy to be here. I will pass to Kathy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy Ostran-Puncheon. I live in South Salem. My pronouns are she, her. I will pass it to Laura.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm Laura Fouts. I'm a member of the commission. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a resident of Ward 3. And I'll pass it over to Joaquin.
Thanks, Laura. You caught me mid tea sip. But good evening, everybody. My name is Joaquin, a member of the commission and a resident of Ward 8. I hope everyone's doing well. Kelsey, have you gone? Well, why don't you go next?
Okay. Thanks, Joaquin. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey Murray. I use she, her pronouns. I am the vice chair and a member of Ward 4. I use she, her pronouns, and I will pass it to Matthew.
Hey, y'all. Matthew Gill. I'm with the Community Action Unit, filling in for Lieutenant Aguilar today. I will pass it to, I believe, Marilyn.
Yes, thank you. I'm Marilyn Daly Blair, and I am the director of Center 50 Plus for the city of Salem. And I am filling in for Gretchen Bennett this evening as the number one note taker. And my preferred pronouns are she, her. And I will pass it to Krista. Did you already go? Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Krista Gallagher. I use she, her, and I'm from Ward 4. I'm late, but I don't know if there's anybody next.
No, I think that pretty much covers everyone. Again, thank you guys all for being here. We don't really have a whole lot on our calendar right now. We are short of quorum, so we will not be voting on the minutes. But at this time, let's go ahead and jump to the agenda. So let's see where we are at. Okay, so like I said, we won't be voting on the minutes. And it doesn't look like we have any public comments for right now. Let's see. So at this point, let's go ahead and get to the bias crime.
All right, all. Unfortunately, we have, I believe, 6 different incidents to go through. So I prepped this in the manner I thought is best. I'm not entirely sure how Lieutenant Aguilar does it. She prepared the last document for me, so hopefully this does it justice. Again, just giving a general description and location of what occurred. So we'll start with the crimes first. This occurred on February 2nd, case number 23-2343. Patrol received a call regarding vague threats of an active attack at a business in West Salem. Patrol had to prepare a very quick response as a result of that. The threats came via an ex-girlfriend, at which time the suspect used offensive language while communicating the threats via text. The suspect was contacted and arrested for disorderly conduct, which revolves around making a threat towards violence of such significant violence. So that subject was not arrested for a bias crime specifically, but because of the offensive language, this was included in the report here. On February 15th, case number 23-3326, patrol investigated a bias crime which occurred in downtown Salem. The victim was standing with his friend on a sidewalk when an occupant in a truck driving by yelled offensive language. The language was very much anti-Black. And the truck circled the block, and then what they believe were fired upon by BBs and or airsoft. pellets. There was a license plate that was obtained. Patrol did a pretty extensive investigation and follow-up. However, that case is now with detectives, and I will request that Lieutenant Aguilar or myself provide an update to this commission as the result of that investigation. So hopefully we make some progress on that by next time around. On the same date, Patrol responded to a large fight in downtown Salem. There was over a half dozen individuals arrested, primarily young adults. It was determined that there was offensive language that started that altercation. And the primary suspect, although he was eventually assaulted to a significant degree, was charged with bias crime 1 because of his comments as a result of that initial disturbance, which involved pepper spray from that individual. So again, that was a fairly large scale incident. There are no more suspects outstanding on that one, and the primary suspect was arrested and charged with bias crime. On March 7th, this was also a lengthy investigation done by Patrol, case number 23-4910. This was a fight with 4 subjects, adult subjects, that was at school grounds in the North Salem area. It had nothing to do with the school itself, but it was determined that this was a road rage incident that ended up at the school. During the course of this, there was a female suspect that took a walking stick from from the other party involved, and used that walking stick to assault that individual. In the process, she made multiple anti-LGBTQ statements in the process. She was arrested for assault 2, harassment, unlawful use of a weapon, as well as bias crime 1 and bias crime 2. So those were the 4 primary cases. And the only outstanding case that we have is the one I referenced, which we will follow up on and update the commission on. A couple more incidents that were forwarded to to our bias crime reporting were graffiti based. So one occurred over the night on February 5th. This occurred in South Salem. The suspects spray painted anti-LGBTQ language on the side of an apartment building. The patrol did a pretty exhaustive investigation as a result of trying to determine if it was aimed at anyone directly, and it does not occur that they could tell by working with the tenants of the apartment complex that it was aimed at anybody directly. However, patrol did do an investigation as to surveillance and did pretty extensive follow-up on that. Then on the 7th in Northeast Salem at a derelict structure overnight, neighbors found graffiti comprised of various hate symbols, as well as some anti-Black wording that was done on a fence of that property. Patrol again did an exhaustive search for surveillance that is still being reviewed, and so no suspect information as of yet. But patrol did work with management to have immediate removal, as well as our graffiti abatement team, because it was fairly extensive. So those are the 6. Any questions about any one of those in particular that I could answer, or follow up that you would like me to do?
We'll throw that over to the council. Has anybody got any questions for Lieutenant Gill?
No, go ahead, Gil.
Sorry. This is Kelsey. I just want to say thank you for providing all that information and all the details. I do appreciate that.
You bet. And I know we had another question. Can I just reference something really quick? Lieutenant Aguilar indicated that you all should have been forwarded the 2022 bias crime report. Within that, I have not reviewed it extensively. She did ask me to reference that there was no reported crimes specifically towards our houseless community. At some point, I don't know if that was something that was requested or information that she was supposed to obtain. But I will request that she do a further update based on the council's request here next time. And then I apologize, next question.
Yes, thank you. I echo Kelsey's appreciation for the thoroughness of that report. Same question for 2 cases. I think it was the first case. in which an ex-girlfriend went after an ex-partner, and then with the group of 6, I believe you said it was. Do we know the nature or the type of prejudice that was being expressed? Particularly, you mentioned it in other cases, but not those 2.
Yeah, I apologize. So are you talking about, so there was one revolving around an ex-girlfriend who works at a business, and the suspect used offensive language in text. If that offensive language was anti-Black in nature, however, it didn't have to do with the threat. So because of that language that was in there, the officer preemptively forwarded to the bias crime routing. And then secondly, that was the fight that occurred downtown where 6 individuals were involved. That initial language also involved anti-Black slur, essentially, that was used in the course of a conversation, which led to the kind of an additional group kind of challenging that individual. So hopefully that provides some clarification.
Yes, thank you.
You bet.
All right. Was there any further questions or any other, maybe any other concerns that anyone would like to bring forward at this point? No? Okay, having none, I guess we will go on to the next item. And thank you again, Lieutenant Gill, for providing that for us. I was excellent. So,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
all right. So looks like we have some agenda items from last meeting that we can go over at this point. I will actually bring it up to you guys. Do we want to go ahead and address those here, or we would like to table those for our next meeting when we hopefully have more of our members with us? Or I leave it up to you guys. Which would you prefer?
I could go either way, but I'm thinking if we want the rest of the commissioners to hear and be involved, maybe table it for next month.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely for that.
This
yes,
this
I
is
did.
Kathy. I'm not opposed to that, but then the risk is if we don't have a quorum next month, I mean, maybe be prepared to talk about it then, no matter what, in case we don't have enough.
I think that'd be wise. And then as well, we can go over, give us some time to go over the bias crime report that we got. And so we can actually look at that. And then those concerns from February, and then also any complaints or concerns that we have that we can address once again when Gretchen is back with us. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, cool. In that case, we will move on. Now, I do have some updates for April. Looks like, well, I guess I want to go before the city council and just kind of fill in with what it is that we're doing, and also see if there's anything that they would like us to focus on. So it would be really cool if you guys could email me anything that you guys would like me specifically to bring up. I want to make sure that it's not just me out there, because it's about us as the council. So, I mean, as the commission. So let's, if you guys can forward me anything that you would like me to speak about, I'd be more than glad to bring it up. So that's the only order of business that I have. But any feedback that you guys want to throw at me, please, at this point, go for it.
Hi, this is Joaquin. Only a clarifying question. When do you anticipate going before City Council? When do you want questions or comments by?
I'm thinking it's towards the end of the month. I'll have to get with Gretchen and see exactly when I'm being put on. So I guess just whenever you guys can get them to me, that would be great. I would say, like, maybe next week at some point, if you guys can go ahead and forward me anything, that would be awesome. Does that timeline work for you?
Works for me.
Okay. All right, so that's all that I have. Was there anything else that anyone else might have had? Something you might have seen? Anything that you would like us to make an appearance at, or? Okay, you guys are making this too easy for me.
Oh, I have something, Hamadi. This is
Go for
Kelsey.
it.
I think Gretchen had emailed folks to see if they were interested in, was it World Beats? So if you hadn't had a chance to reply and let her know if you can make it or not, it'd be cool. I know I'll be there for at least one of the days. So yay.
Yeah, I actually did reply to her. I plan to be there for both days. So anybody else that wants to join in, please feel free.
I've also volunteered myself.
I
Awesome.
did too. I can commit to one of the 2 days.
Awesome. Awesome. The more the merrier. But yeah, definitely. So that being said, like anything like that anybody is interested in or you hear about, please, by all means, let's get out there. Let's bring our voices forward. I know there's a speech at the end of the month that I was asked, or there's a kind of it's in Silverton, but it's like a youth rally that I was asked to speak at towards the end of the month. So I will get that out to you guys. So if you want to show up for that, I guess it's like a concert and a few other things going on. I don't have all the details. I'm a little fuzzy. I was just asked, hey, would you like to come speak? So I thought, sure. But so I will get the details out to you guys for that. It'd be cool to have you guys show up as well. Let's see. So with that being said, I guess at this point we will go to the awareness task force update. So
Oh,
Joaquin.
Lord, that's me. I can go ahead. I actually missed our task force meeting. I was a bad chair this week because my computer wasn't working. I didn't have internet, and I don't know how to fix anything. So maybe Kathy can. I'm assuming Kathy is there because Kathy is much. She's it. And I'll just kind of recap maybe what was to be discussed, and maybe Kathy can fill that in. Or does that sound good?
Yeah, we actually skipped over some of the topics because you weren't there and we wanted to wait until you were. So but yes.
How kind. No need to do that. I don't really say much anyway of value. So ostensibly the discrimination survey was talked about. That would be a continuation of a conversation that we had 2 months ago with Professor Bradshaw. The formulation of that survey with her class at Western Oregon is upcoming this term, beginning, I think, really beginning this month. We had, in theory, hoped to meet with her outside of kind of formal meeting times. Gretchen and I have been in communication about that, but that has not yet happened. When it does, I would like Gretchen maybe to extend an invitation to anyone who would like to come to that meeting, where we will be really figuring out the detailed changes. Although we had a very productive conversation 2 sessions ago. I don't know if Kathy would agree with that, but I felt it was a productive session. Kathy also very generously drafted a PD for what it means to be a position description, for what it means to be a commissioner, which hopefully was circulated. That was greenlit.
I think it was one of the attachments for tonight's meeting. Yeah.
It's great and informative, and is also links to position descriptions and kind of general commission descriptions on the city website, I believe, as well. Footnoted there in the document. Thank you, Kathy, for doing that. It's been a kind of a long-standing item. We had floated the idea of actually changing the name of the task force. That probably was one of the conversations that was
we wanted to wait for you.
Tabled. Yeah. I'm not against the name of the commission. I read the task force, but I think it can maybe be a little bit more descriptive and specific and rousing, at which I think maybe it's lacking a little bit of that punchiness. Maybe the monthly column was discussed. This has been an ongoing conversation, which might warrant wider commission attention. I submitted an op-ed to the Oregonian around the changes of Chapter 97 a few weeks ago. That was not picked up. Devastated. Also submitted it to the Statesman Journal. That was also not picked up there. Surprising, given that I've written for both of those publications previously. So maybe I'll have to, I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. Maybe the Salem Reporter. They seem to be pretty interested in those things. Anyways, yeah, Kathy, any details as someone who was there that are worth sharing here?
We actually didn't talk about the monthly column. That was the other thing that we tabled until next time. We did talk about the survey and just a couple of things from my notes. We were talking about the questions or things to include, and we had gotten some feedback from the LGBTQIA plus intersectional rights task force. I don't know what the specific questions were, but they related to sense of community and belongingness and inclusion. And so that would be something. And then we talked about kind of reframing the survey to be, instead of being about discrimination, because a lot of people will just automatically remove themselves if they don't feel like they have been discriminated against. They just won't take it. And that's not the goal. We want everyone to take it and share their experiences. And so we talked about, maybe something about livability, inclusiveness, welcomeness, diversity, equity, accessibility, those types of things. We didn't make any decisions, but just talked about going kind of in that direction. Yeah, and that's what I took notes on. So
Great.
And David, I don't think you're here tonight, so they can't fill in anything I may have left off. So
Yeah, great. Thank you. Definitely in favor of expanding that language, making it more accessible for more people. Any questions or comments or concerns?
No, I think that's awesome. And then by all means, let us know what we can do to support you in any way, shape, or form that you guys need.
Sure.
Awesome. So with that, we will go ahead and move to the LGBTQIA and Intersectional Rights Task Force. So Commissioner Murray.
This is Kelsey. So we talked about increasing representation on the task force. So how can we get more diverse voices on the task force, since the LGBTQIA plus community is so vast. So I created a social media post, and hopefully that will go out sometime soon to advertise the task force and advertise that you don't need to be a member of this commission to attend the meetings or to even join the task force. So we are hopefully going to get some more folks to join us. Gretchen is working on checking with Chemeketa Community College about their cultural competency certificate to see if they are only going to ever offer the program on Wednesday nights. So seeing about that, and then also seeing how their business and organization certificate program, if that's being developed, and how we can continue to work with them on that as part as the continuation of the Safe Spaces project. And let's see, lastly, so we are looking at mentorship opportunities for LGBTQIA plus youth to be mentored by LGBTQIA plus adults. And there used to be a mentorship organization in Salem, but it closed down a while ago. So if you all know any organizations locally that already has a mentorship program built in, so we could look at partnering with them. So if you know of any, let either me or Gretchen know, either now or in an email. That would be awesome. And I said lastly, but I got one more. Yes, we are partnering with the Awareness Task Force on questions for the survey. We had found a long, extensive survey from the San Francisco area that focused on the LGBTQIA plus community and their experiences. So we kind of want to work together to really make sure that survey is really bolstering the data that we are looking for and how we can better support our communities. I think that's it. Questions, comments, concerns?
this is Kathy. I just have one more thing to add to the update. I think, the Awareness Task Force talks every month about what the next month's communication will be from the Human Rights Commission. And I think the March one is going to be something about encouraging participation in the LGBTQIA plus task force. So I just wanted to mention that too. So I think Gretchen was going to work on something.
Okay. This is Kelsey. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. That sounds great. Thank you guys for your reports. And then once again, like whatever we can do to help support you, please, by all means, let us know. Okay. So next up on our agenda is generally the equity ask and staff updates. So if anyone has anything along those lines. No. Okay. Next would be our community calendar, but Commissioner Strayer is not here, so we do not have that to go over at this point. So next would be our member remarks and any announcements that you guys have.
This is
All right.
Kelsey.
Mhm.
Happy International Women's Day to all women.
For sure.
Oh,
For
and happy
sure.
Happy Women's History Month.
Definitely celebrate our women for sure. For sure. All right. Any other
I
questions?
I have a question. It's not
Yeah,
a
go for it.
member comment. Member question. And what was that question? Oh, what the liaison program that I saw mentioned in the communications for this month. I've heard whispers of it. I think it was mentioned last month. Are there, I guess, is that a conversation we're tabling for next month in terms of signing up for groups, affinity groups, or how would
Yeah,
we-
I think that's one that we'll have with when we have Gretchen back with us,
Sure.
because she is a wealth of knowledge. I don't want to give wrong information. So.
Right.
I think this is Kathy. I think it's part of the work topics discussion, the things we want to focus on this year.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. With that being said, is there any other questions, comments, concerns? No. You guys really did make this too easy on me. But I thank you guys all for being here. My first meeting leading, so hopefully I didn't do too horrible, but by all means, please, constructive criticism, like shoot me an email, let me know anything that you feel that I can expand on and go a little deeper into. Hopefully the next meeting we will have more of our people here and we can really get down to the brass tacks. Keep an eye out for emails. I will shoot you guys over the flyer for that speaking engagement. And then we'll get the details worked out for as far as the World Beat, who's going to be where and which days and all that. We'll get all that concrete and have that all ready to go. So with that being said, thank you guys all for coming, and we will see you next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hamadi.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night. Excellent job. Thank you.